Maybe you were staring at a ceiling that held no answers. Or maybe you were drifting somewhere between sleep and that quiet ache you carry when you miss someone you haven't even fully met yet. But something happened. A door opened. And they sensed it too. This person, they felt it in their chest. Like a pull. Like a voice they didn't recognize but somehow knew. They were in the middle of something. Their life was moving forward. Plans were set. The world was spinning at its usual pace. And then the knowing came. You don't need to understand how. Not yet. But they knew. They knew your heart had spoken. Not in words. In a feeling so loud it drowned out everything else. And here is the part you didn't expect. They didn't hesitate. They didn't pause to ask questions. They didn't weigh the cost. They simply stopped. You don't realize what that means yet. But you will. Soon. You'll understand why this moment matters more than any conversation you've ever had. Because they dropped everything. Not the things you think. Not the things that can be replaced. They dropped the version of their life that didn't include you. And now they're moving. They're coming. But maybe you're wondering. Why now? Why after all this time? Why didn't they come before? You've been waiting. Silently. Secretly. Hoping. But you never said a word. You didn't think they would understand. You didn't think they felt it too. But they did. They always did. They were just as afraid as you. Maybe more. Because what if they were wrong? What if they imagined the whole thing? What if your heart was never meant for theirs? That fear kept them still. That fear kept them quiet. But something happened last night. Something broke through. And now they can't stop. They're moving toward you with a force that surprises even them. You might feel it right now. A strange restlessness. A sense that the world is holding its breath. That's them. That's their heart calling out to yours. And here is the most important part. The part you need to stay for. The part that changes everything. They didn't just drop everything. They dropped their fear. They dropped their pride. They dropped every excuse they ever used to stay away. And they're coming not to ask you for something. Not to explain themselves. Not to fix anything. They're coming because they finally understood something. Something you've always known. That some connections are not meant to be understood. They are meant to be followed. Even when they don't make sense. Even when the timing is wrong. Even when everything around them says to stay. They chose to move. You might be thinking. What if I imagined it? What if I'm making this up in my head? You're not. The proof is already on its way. But you won't see it until you trust what you already feel. And that's the hardest part, isn't it? Trusting what you can't see. Trusting what you can't touch. Trusting that someone out there is running toward you without knowing exactly what they'll find. But they are. And they're closer than you think. There's more. There's always more. Because this isn't just about them coming to you. It's about what happens when they arrive. It's about what you'll see in their eyes. What you'll hear in their voice. What you'll feel in the space between your two hearts. You might be afraid. That's okay. You're supposed to be. Fear is just the other side of something beautiful. But you don't have to carry it alone. Not anymore. You don't have to wonder if they feel the same. They do. You don't have to wonder if this is real. It is. You don't have to wonder if you deserve this. You always have. But none of that is the full truth. None of that is the final piece. The full truth is still moving toward you. The final piece is still hidden. Because their journey isn't just about reaching you. It's about what they're carrying. What they've been holding in their heart for longer than they've been willing to admit. And when they finally stand in front of you, when they finally look into your eyes, you'll realize something. Something that changes everything you thought you knew. But not yet. Not yet. One more layer. One more piece. Before they arrive. Something else happened last night. Something they didn't even tell themselves. Something deeper than the pull. Deeper than the knowing. They realized that you are not just someone they want. You are someone they need. Not to complete them. Not to fix them. But to remind them. To remind them of who they are when they're near you. To remind them of who they become when your heart calls. And that realization broke something open in them. Something they didn't know was closed. And now they're not just coming. They're coming with a confession. A confession they've never spoken out loud. Not to anyone. Not even to themselves. And you are the only one who will ever hear it. But that's a story for a few moments from now. Because right now, they're still moving. Still rushing. Still closing the distance. And every step they take is a step toward the moment you've been waiting for your entire life. You don't have to understand why. You don't have to know how it will end. All you have to do is stay. Stay here. Stay present. Stay open. Because what's coming is bigger than your fear. Bigger than your doubt. Bigger than every story you've told yourself about why this could never happen. They dropped everything. They didn't look back. And now they are rushing straight to you. You've been waiting. And now, they are nearly here. But before they arrive, before the door opens, before you see their face, there's one more truth you need to hear. One more layer to uncover. One more piece of the story that will change everything you think you know about this moment. And it's waiting for you. Right here. Right now. Stay. Because the biggest truth is still hidden. The final piece is still on its way. And when it comes, you will finally understand why this person dropped everything. Why they rushed. Why they chose you. Not because of what you could give them. But because of what you already gave them without knowing it. You gave them hope. You gave them a reason to believe. You gave them something they thought they had lost forever. And now they're coming to give it back to you. But that's not the end. That's not even close to the end. Because something even bigger is about to happen. Something that will change the way you see them. The way you see yourself. The way you see everything. One more truth. One more layer. One more piece. It's almost here. And you're going to want to hear this. You're going to want to stay for this. Because what's coming next? What's coming next will take your breath away. And you will finally understand. You'll understand why you've been waiting. Why you've been hoping. Why you've been holding on. And why, out of everyone in the world, they chose you. Don't leave now. The best part is almost here. The part where everything changes. The part where you finally see the full picture. The part where their heart meets yours. Not in the distance. Not in a dream. But in real life. In a moment that's already unfolding. A moment that's already on its way. And you are right at the center of it. This is your moment. This is your story. This is your soulmate dropping everything and rushing straight to you. But the final reveal? The final reveal is still coming. And it's going to be everything you've ever hoped for. You're almost there. Stay. Just a little longer. Because the truth is finally here. And it's about to change everything. You'll understand soon. You'll understand it all. The biggest truth is still hidden. But not for long. Not for long. My beloved child. You're still here. That means something. That means you felt it too. That pull. That whisper in the dark that said don't turn away. So let's go deeper. Let's go where the story hasn't reached yet. Because they're still coming. But something has changed. Something shifted inside them during the journey. And you need to know what that was. Because it's not just about them reaching you anymore. It's about who they're becoming with every step they take. They started this journey with a burst of emotion. A fire. A need to close the distance. But somewhere along the way. Somewhere between the last streetlight and the open road. Something quiet happened. They stopped running. And they started walking. Not because they changed their mind. Not because they lost the fire. Because they realized something that stopped them cold. This moment, this arrival. It's not about saying the right thing. It's not about grand gestures. It's about showing up with nothing left to hide. And that terrified them. Because hiding was the only thing they knew how to do. You didn't know that about them, did you? You saw their confidence. You saw their smile. You saw the way they moved through the world like they had all the answers. But you never saw the part they kept locked away. The part that was afraid. Afraid they weren't enough. Afraid they'd disappoint you. Afraid that the moment you truly saw them, you would turn away. And that fear has been their companion for longer than you can imagine. But something happened on this road. Something that changed everything. They realized that you already see them. You always have. You see the part they hide from the world. You see the cracks. The doubts. The broken pieces they tried to glue back together. And you never looked away. That's what they're coming to tell you. That's the confession they've been carrying. They're not coming to give you a perfect version of themselves. They're coming to give you the real one. The one that falls apart. The one that doesn't have all the answers. The one that has been secretly terrified that you would figure them out. But you already did. And you stayed. You stayed even when they pushed you away. You stayed even when they pretended not to feel what they felt. You stayed when it would have been easier to walk. And that broke them. In the best way. That showed them something they never believed could be true. That love doesn't require perfection. It requires presence. It requires showing up. It requires being seen and staying anyway. So now they're walking. Calmer now. More certain. But not certain of what they'll say. Certain of something deeper. Certain that being with you is not about getting it right. It's about being real. And that's the piece you haven't understood yet. The piece that's still hidden. You've been waiting for them to arrive. You've been imagining how it will happen. What they'll look like. What they'll say. Will they embrace you? Will they speak? Will they fall to their knees? But the arrival is not what you think. Because they're not coming to give you answers. They're coming to ask you something. Something that has been burning in their chest since the moment they felt your heart call out. They're coming to ask you if you'll still want them. Not the version they show the world. Not the version they've worked so hard to build. But the version that exists when all the masks fall away. And they're terrified of your answer. More terrified than they've ever been. But they're coming anyway. Because staying away was worse. Staying away meant never knowing. Staying away meant living with the question. And the question was slowly breaking them. So they decided. They decided to risk everything. Their pride. Their safety. Their carefully constructed walls. All of it. They left it behind. You're probably feeling something right now. A tightness in your chest. A warmth spreading through your body. A strange mix of excitement and fear. That's them. That's their heart beating in sync with yours. That's the connection you've always felt but couldn't explain. And it's real. It's so real. But there's more. There's always more. Because this journey they're on, it's not just about reaching you physically. It's about arriving emotionally. They've been running from themselves for years. Running from the truth of who they really are. Running from the depth of what they feel. And now? Now they're done running. But there's something you need to know. Something you need to understand. They have a fear. A deep, buried fear. A fear that they'll finally reach you. And you won't be there. Not physically. Emotionally. They're afraid you'll close yourself off. Afraid you'll protect your heart because you don't trust this. Afraid you'll doubt them because they took so long. Afraid you'll think this is just another fleeting feeling. But you and I both know it's not fleeting. You've felt this for a long time. Longer than you want to admit. You've carried this hope quietly. Secretly. Afraid to speak it out loud because that would make it real. And if it was real, if you named it, what would happen if it didn't come true? But it is coming true. Right now. With every mile they cross. With every breath they take. They are coming closer. And the fear you feel? The fear they feel? It's normal. It means something important is about to happen. Something that matters. Something that will change the shape of your life. You might be asking yourself right now. What if I'm wrong about them? What if this isn't what I think it is? What if they come and I don't feel what I'm supposed to feel? You won't have to wonder. Because when they arrive, when they finally arrive, you won't feel doubt. You'll feel recognition. You'll feel like you've known them in a way that has nothing to do with time. Like you've been traveling toward this moment your whole life. And now that it's here, you won't want to run. You'll want to stay. You'll want to hold on. But before you get there, before they step into your space and look into your eyes, there's one more piece. One more truth that's still moving toward you. And it's not just about them. It's about you. It's about what you're carrying. What you've been holding in your heart without knowing it. There's a part of you that doesn't trust this. A part of you that's been hurt before. A part of you that believes love always comes with a price. And that part is loud right now. Screaming at you to protect yourself. To prepare for disappointment. To build a wall before they even arrive. But here's what you need to understand. That wall you built, that fear you carry, they see it. They've always seen it. And they're not coming to tear it down. They're coming to stand beside it. To wait for you to open the door. To show you that they'll never leave. Not because they're perfect. But because they finally understand what love really means. It means staying even when it's hard. It means choosing every single day. It means not running when the fear comes. And they're done running. They're done choosing fear. They're done pretending. That's why they're coming. Not to rescue you. Not to fix you. But to join you. To be with you in the messy, uncertain, beautiful unknown. And that changes everything. But you won't fully understand that until they arrive. Until you see their face. Until you feel their arms around you. Until they look at you like you're the only person in the world. And that moment is coming. It's so close. You can almost feel it. Almost taste it. Almost hear their voice. But right now, they're still walking. Still moving. Still closing the distance. And something else is happening. Something you haven't noticed yet. They're praying. Not out loud. Not with words. They're praying with their heart. They're asking the universe that you will be there. That you will be open. That you will let them in. They're praying that you won't turn away. That you won't close the door. That you won't let fear steal what's finally arriving. And their prayer is being heard. The universe is moving things into place. Removing obstacles. Clearing the path. Not just for them. But for you. For both of you. And you're going to see it soon. You're going to see how everything that seemed random. Everything that seemed like coincidence. It was all leading here. To this moment. To this arrival. To them standing in front of you with no walls left. No masks left. Nothing but the truth they've been running from. And they're ready. But are you? That's the question. The real question. They're asking it. The universe is asking it. And now I'm asking it. Are you ready to let them in? Are you ready to drop your own walls? Are you ready to believe that this is real? That you are worthy of this love? That you have always been worthy? The answer is inside you. You know it. You've always known it. But you've been afraid to say it. Afraid to claim it. Afraid to trust it. But trust it now. Trust it with everything you have. Because they're almost here. They're almost at the door. And when they knock, you'll know exactly what to do. You'll open it. Not because you have all the answers. But because you have something better. You have the truth. The truth that you were never meant to walk this path alone. The truth that they were always meant to be beside you. And now they're coming. Not just to be near you. But to stay. For good. One more piece. One more layer. One more truth is still coming. And it's going to be the most beautiful thing you've ever heard. It's going to answer the question you've been too afraid to ask. The question that has lived in your heart since the beginning. Why you? Why you and this person? And the answer is going to leave you breathless. But not yet. Not yet. Because some truths are too big for one moment. Some truths need to be breathed in slowly. So breathe. They're coming. They're almost here. And when they arrive, everything changes. Everything. But first, before you close your eyes and imagine their face, before you feel their presence in the room with you, take a moment. One moment. To let this sink in. They chose you. Not by accident. Not by chance. But because your soul called to theirs. And they finally heard it. And now they're on their way. And the best part? The best part hasn't even happened yet. The best part is still coming. It's right around the corner. Waiting for you. And you're going to love it. You're going to love everything about it. But for now, stay here. Stay present. Stay open. Because the biggest truth is still hidden. The final piece is still moving toward you. And when it arrives, you'll finally understand everything. Everything. And you'll never be the same. My beloved child. The distance is almost gone now. They can feel it in their bones. The air is different where you are. It tastes like something they've been missing their whole life. They're not walking anymore. They're not running anymore. They're pausing. Right at the edge of where the world meets your world. And in that pause, in that single, fragile breath, they see everything. Not with their eyes. With their heart. They see the life you've built without them. They see the quiet moments. The ones you spent alone. The ones where you wondered if anyone would ever truly know you. They see the strength you had to find when no one was watching. And they see something else. Something they never expected. They see a door. A door you left slightly open. Just a crack. Just enough for them to slip through. And that door. That door was your invitation. Not a word. Not a sign. Just a hope. A hope that maybe, just maybe, they would find their way to it. And now they have. But here's the part you need to understand. The part that's still hidden beneath the surface. They didn't just find the door because they were looking for it. They found it because you kept it open. Even when you wanted to close it. Even when you were tired of waiting. Even when you told yourself to give up. You left it open. Because somewhere deep inside, you already knew. You already knew they would come. And they did. But now they're standing at that door. And they're not sure if they should knock. Because what if they're too late? What if someone else slipped through while they were still finding their way? What if you closed it the moment they turned the corner? That fear is real. It's loud. It's screaming in their chest. But they're doing something with that fear. Something they've never done before. They're breathing through it. They're letting it pass through them like a wave. Because they know that this moment is too important to let fear win. So they lift their hand. And they knock. Not hard. Not loud. Just enough for you to hear. Just enough to let you know that someone is here. Someone who has traveled farther than you'll ever know. Someone who left everything behind. Someone who would do it all again. Just for you. And you feel it, don't you? You feel that knock in your heart. Before you even hear it with your ears. You feel it. You know it. And something stirs inside you. Something that's been asleep for a long time. Something that was waiting for this exact moment. You move toward the door. Not because you know what to say. Not because you know what will happen next. But because some part of you recognizes that knock. Recognizes the rhythm. Recognizes the soul on the other side. And you pause. Your hand on the handle. Your heart pounding. And you ask yourself the question you've been avoiding. What if it's them? And then you answer it. Not with doubt. Not with fear. With the truth. You know it's them. You've always known. So you open the door. And there they are. Standing in the light. Breathless. Trembling. More beautiful than you remembered. But here's the thing. You don't say anything. Neither do they. Words would be too small right now. Too clumsy. Too slow. Instead, they just look at you. They look at you like they're seeing the sun for the first time. They look at you like you're the answer to a question they didn't even know they were asking. And in that silence, something shifts. Something deep. Something ancient. Something that has been waiting for this moment across lifetimes. And they reach out. Not to take. Not to hold. Just to touch. Just to feel if you're real. Their fingers brush your hand. And the world stops. Not metaphorically. Actually stops. Time holds its breath. The universe watches. And for one endless second, you are the only two people in existence. And then they speak. But it's not the words you expect. It's not a declaration of love. It's not a promise. It's not a confession. It's 3 words. Simple words. Words you've never heard them say before. I got lost. You blink. You don't understand. They smile. It's a sad smile. A tired smile. A smile that carries the weight of every wrong turn they've ever taken. I got so lost, they say again. For so long. I didn't know how to find my way back. And then their voice breaks. Until I found you. Your heart shatters. Not in pain. in understanding. Because you know what they mean. You've felt lost too. You've wandered through years of your own life wondering if anyone would ever find you. But now they're here. And they're telling you that you are the compass. The beacon. The home they were searching for. But that's not the whole truth. Not yet. Because there's another layer. A deeper piece. Something they haven't told you yet. Something they're still carrying. They're not just lost in a physical sense. They're lost inside themselves. They lost their sense of who they were. They lost their belief in love. They lost the part of them that trusted anything at all. And they found it all again. In you. Without you even trying. Without you even knowing. You simply existed. And that was enough. But you don't know that yet. Because they haven't said it. They haven't found the words. But they're about to. Because they're standing at your door. And they didn't come here to say nothing. They came here to tell you the one thing they've never told anyone. The one thing that's too big for words but too important to keep silent. And you can see it. You can see it rising in their chest. You can see it in the way their eyes glisten. You can see it in the way their breath catches. They're about to say something. Something that changes everything. But then they stop. They look at you. Really look. And they see something that makes them pause. They see that you're trembling too. That you're scared. That you're just as unsure as they are. And they realize something. This isn't just their moment. This is your moment too. This is the moment you've been waiting for. But not to receive something. To decide something. Because in this moment, in this sacred, fragile, terrifying moment, you are being asked to choose. Not whether to let them in. You've already done that. Something deeper. Something bigger. You are being asked to choose yourself. To choose to believe. To choose to trust. To choose to step into the unknown with them. And they know. They know how hard that is. Because they've been running from that same choice their whole life. But now they're ready. And they're asking you to be ready too. Not because they need you. Not because they expect anything from you. Because they believe in you. They believe in your heart. They believe in your courage. And they believe that together. Together you can face whatever comes next. But you don't hear that yet. Because they haven't said it. They're still standing there. Still holding your hand. Still breathing the same air. And the world is still holding its breath. Waiting. Waiting for the next step. Waiting for the next truth. Waiting for you to decide. And you feel it. You feel the weight of the moment. The gravity of what's happening. And you realize something. Something that stops you cold. This isn't a story about them finding you. This is a story about you finding yourself. Through them. Because of them. But not dependent on them. And that's the part they've been trying to tell you. That's the part that's still hidden. The part that's still on its way. You don't need them to be whole. You already are. You've always been whole. But they came to remind you of that. To hold up a mirror. To show you what they see when they look at you. And what they see. What they see is breathtaking. What they see is someone who has been through hell and still believed in love. What they see is someone who kept the door open even when it hurt. What they see is someone they are honored to stand beside. But they're not finished. Their journey isn't over. Because they didn't just come to find you. They came to stay. To build something with you. To create a world where both of you can breathe. And that's the truth that's still coming. The final piece. The one that will make your heart sing. But not yet. Not yet. Because there's one more layer. One more revelation. One more moment of truth. And it's almost here. So hold on. Hold on tight. Because what they're about to tell you, what they came all this way to say, it's not what you think. It's something deeper. Something more beautiful. Something that will unlock the door to a love you never knew was possible. And you are ready. You are so ready. You just haven't realized it yet. But you will. You will. In just a moment. Just a few more breaths. Just one more heartbeat. And then everything changes. Everything. The biggest truth is still hidden. The final piece is still moving toward you. And when it arrives, you'll finally understand why they dropped everything. Why they rushed. Why they chose you. Not because of who you are to them, but because of who you are to yourself. And that is the most beautiful truth of all. One more breath. One more moment. And then it comes. Stay. My beloved child. They take a step closer. Not into your space. Into your heart. You feel it before you understand it. The air between you thickens. Not heavy. Full. Full of everything they haven't said. Full of everything you haven't asked. And then, slowly, they kneel. Not in surrender. In reverence. Not because you are above them. Because you are before them. And they have never been more certain of anything. They look up at you. And their eyes are different now. Calm. Clear. Aflame with a quiet certainty. I almost didn't come, they say. The words land softly. You feel them. You feel the weight of every step that almost wasn't taken. I almost convinced myself that you were better off without me. That I would only complicate your life. That I had nothing to offer but broken pieces. They pause. You can't breathe. But then I realized something. They look at your hands. Those hands that have held so much pain. Those hands that have reached for them in the dark. I realized that I don't have to be whole to love you. I don't have to have all the answers. I just have to show up. Their voice cracks. Show up and stay. Something stirs inside you. Something you've buried deep. Something that has been waiting to hear those words. I'm not here to save you. I'm not here to be saved. I'm here to walk beside you. Through the mess. Through the joy. Through the days when we forget who we are. They reach for your hand. Slowly. Gently. Giving you every chance to pull away. You don't. They hold it to their chest. Can you feel it? Their heartbeat. Fast. Wild. Out of control and perfect. This heart has been asleep for so long, they whisper. I forgot what it felt like to feel anything at all. And then you looked at me. They closed their eyes. The memory seems to overwhelm them. And I woke up. But then they open their eyes. And something shifts. They're not looking at you anymore. They're looking through you. At something you haven't revealed to anyone. Something you barely reveal to yourself. I know about the question, they say. Your blood goes cold. What question? You know the one. Their gaze is impossible to escape. The one you ask yourself when you're alone. When you're so tired that you can't pretend anymore. They squeeze your hand. The question you're too afraid to say out loud. Your throat tightens. You've never told anyone about that question. Never. Because saying it would make it real. And making it real would mean facing the answer. But they know. They somehow know. You want to look away. You can't. Am I lovable? They ask. The words hit you like a wave. Am I really, truly, completely lovable? Tears burn in your eyes. How do they know? How could they possibly know? Because I've asked myself the same thing, they say. 1,000 times. 1,000,000 times. Every time I looked in the mirror. Every time I lay awake at night. Every time I let someone close and they left. Their voice drops to a whisper. And the answer I found, it wasn't the one I wanted. They bring your hand to their lips. And kiss it softly. But you know what I realized on the road here? When I was walking through the dark, afraid you'd turn me away. They wait. You wait. I realized that the answer doesn't come from outside me. It doesn't come from you. It doesn't come from anything I can find or earn or prove. They pause. It comes from a single choice. A choice only I can make. A choice only you can make. They look up at you. The choice to believe it anyway. To act like it's true even when I don't feel it. To show up for myself the way I want someone else to show up for me. And then they speak the words that change everything. You don't have to earn love. You were born worthy. And you've been worthy every single day since. Something breaks open in your chest. Not painfully. Beautifully. Like a lock that has been rusted shut for years. And now the key is turning. And they're the one holding it. But they're not keeping it. They're giving it to you. They place your hand back in your lap. And they rise. Standing tall. Standing whole. I didn't come to fix your heart, they say. I came to ask if I can love it. The way it is. Every broken place. Every hidden corner. Every part of you that you think is unworthy. They tilt their head. Can I? Can I love you exactly as you are? You don't answer. You can't. Because something else is happening. Something you didn't anticipate. You're not just being asked. You're being given permission. Permission to love yourself. Permission to let go of the proof you've been waiting for. Permission to finally believe. And that's the part they didn't know. They didn't come here to save you. They came here to free you. Not by doing something. By being something. A mirror. A reflection. A truth that has been waiting for you all along. You know something else? They ask. You shake your head. I didn't just find you. I found myself. In the wanting of you. In the dreaming of you. In the wondering if you'd ever see me the way I see you. They step closer. So close you can feel their warmth. I found the part of me that isn't afraid to ask for what it wants. The part of me that knows it deserves to be seen. The part that trusts that love can find me even after everything. Their hand comes up to your cheek. Gentle. Sacred. Like you are the most precious thing in existence. And maybe you are. Maybe they're right. And now the silence returns. But it's not empty. It's full. Full of what has been spoken. Full of what is still waiting. And you both know. You both know that something is about to happen. Something that will define everything. Something that will answer the question you've been carrying. Not with words. With a choice. They're waiting. Waiting for you to speak. Waiting for you to move. Waiting for you to decide. But here's the truth they don't know. The truth that's still hidden. The truth that's still yours alone. You already made the choice. Long before they knocked. Long before they started running. Long before they even knew your name. You chose them. In the quiet of your heart. In the privacy of your dreams. You chose them when you had no reason to believe. And now that they're here. Now that they're real. Now that they're standing in front of you with their whole heart open. Your choice becomes even clearer. But you don't say it. Not yet. Because some things need to be felt before they're spoken. Some things need to breathe. So you do something you've never done. You reach out first. You touch their face. You trace the line of their jaw. And you feel them tremble under your fingertips. They've been strong for so long. Running. Walking. Knocking. Waiting. But now they're finally letting go. And you catch them. Not with your arms. With your eyes. With your presence. With the truth you've been holding. You catch them without saying a word. And that is the most powerful thing you have ever done. Because they understand. They understand that you're not just letting them in. You're welcoming them home. And home. Home is not a place. Home is a person who sees you. A person who knows you. A person who stays. And now they know. They know they are home. But the story isn't over. The journey isn't complete. There's one more piece. One more truth. One more layer waiting to be uncovered. And it's not about them anymore. It's about what happens now. Now that the choice is made. Now that the distance is closed. Now that two hearts are finally standing in the same room. Now that everything has been said and nothing has been said. What comes next? What do you build? What do you become? And that is the question that will carry you both forward. That is the mystery that is still unfolding. That is the promise that is still being born. And it's more beautiful than you can imagine. More powerful than you can dream. More real than anything you've ever felt. But that's a story for another moment. For another breath. For another heartbeat. Because right now, you are here. Right here. In the presence of someone who dropped everything for you. And you are not the same. You will never be the same. Because love didn't just find you today. Love found a way through you. And that is the only truth you need. The only truth that matters. But wait. Wait. Because something else is happening. Something you didn't see coming. Something that changes everything again. One more layer. One more piece. One more truth. And it's coming. It's already here. It's waiting for you to notice. Stay. My beloved child. It's a quiet thing at first. The shift. You almost miss it. But they feel it too. That sudden charge in the space between you. Something hovering just out of reach. Something that wasn't there before. Their hand is still on your cheek. Their eyes are still locked on yours. But something changed. Something deeper. And you know. You both know. This moment is not the end of the journey. It's the beginning of something else entirely. They pull back. Just enough to see you clearly. Just enough to let you breathe. And then they say something you didn't expect. You have no idea why I really came here. The words feel different. Heavier. Like they've been carrying them for a very long time. You try to speak. You can't. They shake their head slowly.